Hi everyone! So I'm here today to share these adorable little paper backpacks that I made using Spellbinders Small Die of the Month kit for August 2019. And I made these little backpacks for my niece Emma and my nephew Joseph as back to school gifts because they're going to be starting school very soon here in the US. So let's take a look at all of our little die cut pieces. I cut all the pieces out ahead of time just to save time. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to glue the main backpack die cut together. And I cut it out twice just because my pattern paper was white on one side and I wanted to make sure that this piece was double-sided. And it also adds a little bit of stability to the backpack as well, given that this pattern paper is pretty thin. So I'm just going to fold over the flap. This is the top flap of the backpack, and I'm just going to reinforce that fold with my bone folder. And then I'm going to start decorating. So now we get to decorate the backpack. So I'm going to put this little flap piece on the inside. You could also put it on the outside of the top flap if you want to make it look like your backpack has a different color for the top flap. So you could put it like I did on the inside, or you could also put it on the outside. Now we're making the little pocket for the bottom of the backpack, and we have a little zipper that I'm just attaching to about a third of the way down from our little pouch. I think that there's lots of places you could place that. You could put it right in the middle. You could put it closer to the top. I think there's lots of options. And I'm just going to pop it up on some double-sided foam tape, or I guess a double layer of foam tape, just because I really wanted this little backpack to have a lot of dimension, because I knew my niece and nephew are going to be spending lots of time playing with it. So I wanted to make it as fun and realistic as possible. Now I'm just working on putting together the little straps and buckles, and I'm just working the little strap through the buckle for each side. And then I'm going to flip those over, and we're going to attach a thin piece of one layer of foam tape to the back of those. And I'll show you how I do that. So I'm going to make my foam tape stop right at the end of the buckle, because the straps are going to hang off the edge, and I want to make sure that we can open and close the top flap. And if we continued the tape all the way to the bottom of the strap, you wouldn't be able to open and close the case. I think it'll make more sense when you see me put it on right here. See that? You want to make sure that your tape doesn't extend beyond the bottom of that top flap. And it's okay if you have a little bit of excess at the top, because we're just going to fold that behind in a second and then glue that down. So here I'm just going to fold it down, and now I'm just going to take a little bit of tape runner and glue it down. You could use score tape here also, but the tape runner worked just fine. And now for the finishing touches, we're going to add a little handle to the top of our backpack. And I'm just going to place it behind just like this. And now we're going to make all of our little accessories. And how adorable are these? So first we have our little apple. And I'm just going to add a little drop of glue there. And then I'm going to attach it to the stem of the apple, being very careful. But it's so worth it. Look at how cute that is. It's just so adorable. You could make golden apples also, or green apples. I think there's a lot of options. And now we're going to work on putting together our little notebook. And this is the binding on the notebook that I just put on. And then we're going to have a little label. And I'm writing my nephew's name here. And I did the same on the backpack for my niece Emma. Another thing that you could do with this die cut is you could leave off the label and the binding and just make it look like a white sheet of paper, and you can draw in little blue lines horizontally, and then a little red line on the left hand side, and make it look like, just sheets of white paper, and put a few sheets of those in the backpack too. That's another way that you could use that die cut. Now I am just adding some detail onto one of the pencils, and this die cut you can turn into a pencil or into a crayon as well. And there are also little glasses, And I wanted to make these more realistic, so I decided that I was going to add a lens as well. So I'm just taking a heavy piece of vellum, and I just drew in where the lenses are, and I'm just going to cut outside the lines a little bit, because when we stick the lenses back in, we're going to need it to hold on to the back of the glasses. So that's what I'm doing here. This part was probably the most finicky of all the little steps, but I think it really makes it worth it if you add some lenses to the glasses. You could also take a marker and tint the vellum if you wanted to make it look like they're sunglasses, or if you just wanted to add like a little bit of a blue tint, that would be nice too. You could also take a mirrored piece of cardstock and combine it with black frames, and you can make sunglasses that way, like mirrored sunglasses. So there's lots of different things that you can do with these little accessories just to personalize them and make it fun. And now we get to put everything together. So I'm going to put my little composition notebook in first, and then the glasses next to it, and then a little apple, of course, for the teacher. And then we have 2 little pencils. And I'm just going to stick them in the pocket. And look at how cute that is. And then we can close the flap and then open it. And that is just so adorable. I mean, I know I've had lots of fun just playing with these little backpacks. I'm sure my niece and nephew will have just as much fun. And now here's the little backpack that I made for Emma. So I used some pinks for hers, and then I also gave her some horn-rimmed little glasses, and I put some little diamonds around the rim as well. And I did put a little bit of blue tint in the upper corners of the glasses. I don't know if you can see that, but just a little something to make them special. And I just noticed I only have 1 pencil in Emma's backpack, so I'm gonna have to run and make sure I add another one, because they'll definitely fight if one of them has more little trinkets in their backpack than the other. So note to self, I gotta fix that before I send these out. I was also thinking about maybe adding like a little die cut of a teddy bear in each of them, just to make it look like maybe there's a stuffed animal as well. If you have any stamps that are like sandwiches or cupcakes or other food you might bring to school, that might be some other cute ideas of things that you could add into the backpack. There's no reason why you can't mix and match with the other stamp sets and have lots of fun. So that's all I have for you today, everyone. I'd love to hear from you in the comments as to what you think about these projects and whether you're making your own. Have a great day, and I will see you again soon in the next video.